First hour doesn't count. Hey, everybody, Jeremy and Joe, Owen the Parlay Killer, and Alt Joe, the last man alive to bet on the Steelers on the money line.
The last person that ever bet on Mike Tomlin to win a playoff game in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That was us.
Yeah.
We need shirts for that. We need shirts.
Yeah.
You need a shirt. When's your birthday?
July 1st, free agency day.
All right, fine. It's a long way away, but there might be a shirt with Mike Tomlin's face on it coming your way.
Did we have something to do with him stepping down, though? Like, indirectly, could we have done it?
We set expectations too high, apparently.
Yeah.
Too many people. Steelers were expected to win that game by many, including us. That got him fired.
Speak for yourself, but
no, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? We thanks for that, Joe. All Joe. Anyway, good morning. I asked Joe during the update here, Joe DiBiase. I'm like, how do you do strike through text on Twitter? Yeah. Because I got a real clever post, everybody. I'm just waiting to fire it out, but I can't strike through on Twitter. I can in my other applications and text boxes.
Yeah, I only see bold and italic.
But I can't do strike through. So I'll just have to say it, and this will be me saying a tweet. So it's strike through, everybody eats, and then in bold, everybody's out. How do you like it? Like, no more everybody eats. Now it's everybody's out.
Yeah.
Tyrell Shavers and Gabriel Davis both with torn ACLs. And the Bills' injury report is getting lots of people to get a little bit nervous about this game now. Like, I was confident, and then the injury report came out, and now I'm less confident. And I get that. It can feel overwhelming when there's that many injuries.
Did you see the Broncos injury report yesterday, by the way?
No, let me guess. They're all super healthy.
There's 4 guys listed. 3 were limited. 1 on the report was a full participant, and that's it.
Hey,
they have a single guy, at least it's on the roster, like Dobbins isn't there, but they don't have a single guy on the active roster that missed practice yesterday.
Nice. Hey, bye weeks help,
Yep.
Get healthy. They didn't have to play all the way to the bye week, but bye weeks help because you play one less game, and Denver got to play one less game. So it's back-to-back seasons where Gabe Davis goes down, or 2 out of 3 because he was with Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, right.
2 out of 3 where he gets hurt in the playoffs. In this game, or did he get hurt in Miami that year?
I mean, really, if you want it, he got hurt in Jacksonville last year, and didn't he miss the final couple games? So isn't it 3 years in a row that his team's season has ended with him on the injury shelf?
Yeah, it's tough. You feel for him, especially because he's in a contract year kind of situation.
Yeah.
When he got released by Jacksonville, he was still pretty good to go, but now,
it's just not.
It's tough.
Yeah. And Shavers, what can you say? He played through it for the second half, and I'm seeing clips around of like him blocking on screens and taking guys out, and on the tush push that Allen gets down to the 1, he's destroying a guy like with a torn ACL. He was able to do that. I thought you weren't able to walk, or not able to run, at least, when you had a torn ACL.
Well, you're usually not able to move laterally. Right? Isn't that the deal? Like, it removes your ability to cut.
So he was just moving downhill, and now he's blocking people.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. I don't know the medical.
Crazy, though, that he was able to do that.
It's tough.
And you feel for him, too, because he's not young. Remember, like, he's 26, and
this is his first NFL active roster year.
Right, and he did the job, I think, to show this year, like, okay, he's not, a receiver that's going to scare anybody on defense, but he proved, I think, he's an NFL player.
Yeah, it could be your last receiver / special teams receiver for 5 years.
Like,
you would have been good with that.
He could be Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins was this, and he carved out like a nice 6-7 year career in the league as usually, the last 2 years actually, interestingly, have been different, but as like the 4th or 5th receiver on a roster. And now, you're just out till next year, I think.
Yeah.
Well, then not even just till next year. Like, you might be out all of next year. You get hurt in January with that injury. What's your best case scenario? You're back by November? That's a tough one. And now it leaves them with 3 active receivers that are healthy.
Which is
really,
tough.
really 4, though, right? Samuel's full yesterday. Like, we should be counting him already.
Called it, right?
Yeah.
The moment they needed him, he turns out he's ready.
Yep.
All right, so that's better news that Curtis Samuel looks like he'll be ready to go. I guess I would ask it kind of this way. The Bills this season, of course, have not had a lot of production from receivers. Khalil Shakir gets production. And after that, it's Kincaid, Knox. Coleman is still 4th on the team in receiving.
Yeah.
And he has sat and been completely cratered on the depth chart.
Yeah.
Then it's Josh Palmer at 303 yards.
Okay.
Cook, Ty Johnson. Shavers is 8th. Jackson Hawes is 9th. Gabe Davis is 10th in receiving yards. Although I guess this is regular season, right? Okay, because Brandin Cooks, if we're including the playoffs, he had more. But should we really be panicking? I'm not trying to downplay the importance. Like, they have roles. I know that. And dressing guys is important. But the guys they are now missing, it's number 5, number 8, and number 10 in receiving yards. Like, these were not massive producers. They did play a lot. Shavers played a lot. Davis played a lot. I guess I'm trying to talk myself into, I know these players have roles, but they are not exactly, for me, now you can't win. Yeah. Now you're in so much trouble you can't win. You will likely have to trust Keon Coleman quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that could scare a lot of people. It could scare Joe Brady, could scare the Bills, could scare Josh Allen, or it could work.
Right, because you got to trust him not really even just to make plays, because as you mentioned, like the guys that have been making plays are still there. You got to trust him to do the dirty work. You got to trust him to be the guy that when I throw that screen out to Shakir, which we know they'll do at least a couple of times, you're his lead blocker in the way that Shavers would be out there. And are you up to that? He's got the size for it, but do they trust him in that department right now? I saw a couple of clips of him really jogging on Sunday. And maybe that was out there in the regular season, wasn't it? That like maybe there's some plays here where he's not going 1,000% the way that some like Davis and Shavers do, especially.
Right. They lost they lost a couple players that run the Joe Brady routes, right? Which are just like clear outs, and you will work hard. Shavers and Davis work hard.
Right. And selling that is a role on this offense. And the blocking element, when they are built a lot on short passing, I think it gives you, it creates more of a value maybe on that type of receiver. And if those two are the two that are out, I mean, Coleman's my other guy, unless, I would be stunned if Christian Wilkerson wasn't the other guy that they made active to play special teams and then maybe also do that.
I liked him in camp. Put it on the record.
You did.
I did like him.
He was your second Shavers.
That's
really.
Right. He was my new Shavers.
Yeah,
it's like,
new Shavers.
Wilkerson, it was wearing 32, I think.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Weird number.
I'm like, 32, this guy can play.
Even though he's like 3 years older than Shavers, I think. He's like 30 years old.
And he's been in the league. Actually, in fact, now I remember, I told you, I made a case that Christian Wilkerson might be a gamer because he might have played 3 career games and has 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. He has played, he started 2 games in his NFL career.
And?
He has 6 catches, 60 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns in 2 games?
Yeah, 2 starts at least.
We got a gamer. See? I made the case for Wilkerson in training camp. They're like, there might be something there. Anyway, there's probably a lot to get to, and we'll ask Sal about this coming up at 7. We'll talk about it with Joe Marino at 8. It's more than just like, does this guy get open? Does this guy block? It's, does he know the offense? Is he going to run the right route? Because you could have a spot where you're running some concept, and if you are a receiver like, I don't know, Gabe Davis or Curtis Samuel, who's rusty, who's not getting these reps. Like, think back to 2-3 weeks ago, McDermott said continuity in that room is something we just don't have, and we're trying to get there. And the developments of this past weekend are not going to help that, because Shavers and Davis are guys that the Bills would trust on the highest level, and they're out. So it's a tough blow. I don't know that it's the toughest of blows, but it's a tough blow. I wouldn't dispute that.
They're just so thin, too. Like, the other part of it is, like, now if you pick up injuries in a game, then where are you at? Like, you are really, Allen is throwing to guys that...
Tight ends. And
tight ends, right? Like suddenly Cooks goes from, all right, he's starting to give you something and you're getting some big plays. He's important to, he's absolutely critical and you absolutely cannot lose him.
For sure.
And same goes definitely with Shakir. Although even him, he's got Samuel now behind him, so maybe that helps a little bit in their faith if something happened there. And then Coleman, right? Like if something happened to Coleman, then Wilkerson is playing every snap.
Yeah.
On defense, like you're really close to guy that wasn't on the team a week ago is playing like all of them. Like I tweeted Amari Cooper yesterday, not just for him to play on Sunday, but in case something else happens at the receiver position and I need a guy to play in an AFC championship. I mean, it's getting so thin So any more injuries would be like almost devastating, I think.
Yeah, the combination of Palmer, Davis, and Shavers, they've combined for
all in 3 weeks, by the way, that they've been ruled out or they've done.
They've combined
2 weeks.
Palmer had Palmer 22, Shavers 15, and Davis 12. It's 49 catches on the year between the three of them. So they're not exactly big producers, but they're role players. So are you feeling down about it, or should you kind of feel the same?
I kind of feel about the game overall.
Here's the thing. It's not just the game. And as you say that they're thin, right? You got to win 3 more games.
Yeah.
And that means nobody's coming back to save this anymore. Like Samuel was maybe Samuel gets healthy. Okay, now he is one of the 4.
Right.
And I believe he is fully healthy, but he's had trouble staying healthy, of course. If he's down, I've got Christian Wilkerson or Mecole Hardman or whoever. It's not a team that has relied heavily on their receivers, of course. Like the receivers have been a massive talking point for like 9 months, right? We know that. But I can't even really get to how they can we be mad about who the receivers are if most of them are hurt? Right? Like,
well, I mean,
you could be mad about Coleman as a bad pick, but Coleman has a redemption story here that's possible. I was thinking yesterday that like you could have Diggs' career arc, which was be amazing and then falter at the end, and you are remembered as get him out of here, he's a bum.
Right.
You could have 2 years of being score 3 touchdowns in 2 games, and that guy can be the mayor as far as I'm concerned. Like. You know?
I think you can be. I mean, if they don't produce on Sunday and they're all the 4 guys that are going to be available to you are all healthy, like I'll still think there is room to say, all right, like the guys you invested in let you down, because there is a level of investment in
Shakir,
3 of the 4 at least.
And Coleman.
You've got your biggest free agent ad at the position from last year in Curtis Samuel that will be on the field for you. Mm-hmm. You have Shakir, who you threw a $15 million contract at, and you have your highest draft pick that you spent on it in Keon Coleman. Cooks, you can throw him away if you want because he showed up in November. But we know how necessary he's been and how he's given them something that they didn't have before. But I really would only want to make it about the other 3. And if they're all healthy for the next game and maybe they make it past that and that's the thing that lets them down, I'll still want to say, no, like you had the guys that you invested in other than Palmer.
Yeah.
Like the guys that were a part of your plan to be good at the position were all there except for Josh Palmer. And like, to me, right, if you want to catch the ball and guys get open, then this is what you were relatively going to have anyway. It's more about Shaver showed up and was able to be an NFL player for them at the bottom of the roster, and Gabe Davis showed up in the middle of the season. Like, nothing against those guys, but they are not big investments by this team.
Right. If it's wide receiver 3, 4, 5 for Denver that's out, like let's just, because that's kind of the Bills.
Yeah.
In terms of production, it's wide receivers 3, 4, 5 that are out, even though Coleman is wide receiver 2 in production and isn't really wide receiver 2.
But late in the season, he hasn't been their wide receiver.
Wide receivers 3, 4, 5 for Denver would mean that Mims, Pat Bryant, and Lil Jordan Humphrey are out.
Okay.
And would you think much of that?
If you told me that those were 3 injuries Denver had this week, it wouldn't change my opinion a lot on their chances for the game.
Me either. They still have Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin
and
the
their
top.
Tight ends.
And the Bills have Cooks and Shakir. Like those are their top 2 guys. So I'm still okay, and okay is a reasonable term here. We all know. I had somebody yesterday, the wide receiver conversation is sometimes fresh meat, and it was, wow, look at what Bean has done. And I thought, listen, I'm the number one guy to tell you I wish there was more at the position that was invested in. But the injuries and torn ACLs, torn ACL is tough. You want to tell me that Curtis Samuel, you should have seen this coming because he's had injuries? That's a different conversation. But still, they can't stay healthy at the position, and they're so thin. I still don't think it has to matter.
I think my biggest concern would be their reliance on short passing, screens, whether that's to Shakir, whether that's to Ty Johnson, and the impact that Shavers and Davis also make in terms of blocking for that. And do they still feel as confident that they can execute those plays if instead of Shavers and Davis are 2 guys you're rotating to block, that it is, now it's Curtis Samuel that's doing it, or now it's Christian Wilkerson, or now it's Coleman. Like, how are they as confident? you might say that they don't run as many screens, and maybe some people would be ready to sign up for that right now. So I don't know. Like that's my question more so in the value of it is, do they still feel like they can run their offense the same way with those guys out? Or do they think something's got to change? They've got to do something different schematically, or certain plays need to be crossed off because the Shavers on them are important. That's what I wonder. And that comes down to Coleman, I think.
Yeah.
I think Wilkerson and all of them, I think most of that comes down to, do they believe Coleman can do all the dirty work the way that Shavers did?
And that's just the dirty work. If Coleman were just a player and could produce in the receiving game, we probably wouldn't worry about this much at all. He should be ahead of
probably
the 3 guys that are hurt. You'd like him to be ahead of the 3 guys that are hurt. In fact,
right, it's disappointing that he was below them.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that he is not is a development. At the start of the season, he was playing more snaps, getting more targets than anybody. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, he didn't continue to earn those. So he should, of course, be ahead of Shavers and Davis, but he found his way behind them. 803-0550 is our phone number if you want to give us a call on this, and 1-888-550-2550. The injury report. Josh Allen says he is feeling better than he has in weeks. I
don't believe him.
I'm not here to call Josh Allen a liar. But I'm here to say I don't trust a word he says when he's talking about his injuries, because he says, "Oh, I'm good," and then the day after the game, someone reports his hand's broken.
Yeah,
he would be wearing a cast, and he'd say, "How's the leg?" He's like, "What leg? The one with the cast on it." That's not a cast. I'm not wearing a cast. That's it's a new fashionable sock.
The designer wrap.
Yes,
what
that's
that
right.
is.
Right.
Yeah.
He would not admit to feeling bad ever. So anyway, 803-0550 is our phone number. You can give us a ring. We've got lots to get to today. Sabres game tonight against Philadelphia. Some good hockey rumors about guys that could be moved we'll get into. Mm-hmm. And the Mike Tomlin story is fascinating in terms of what Pittsburgh might do in a coaching search. The Ravens owner had some super candid comments about both Tomlin and John Harbaugh, and gave an answer to a question. I'll just tell you right here, because it's as honest an answer you'll get. What happens if Tyler Loop hits that kick? How long is John Harbaugh still coaching the team? He said 1 week.
Right.
They were going to fire Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Pretty much no matter what, unless they go really far.
I would have loved for a reporter to follow up, well, what about 2 weeks?
Right. What if he wins?
What if you had won?
What if you win?
Is he gone no matter what?
And then I listened to Pittsburgh radio yesterday, and Andrew Filipponi, our buddy, he made a great point about Tomlin, which is, this is not a guy that makes quick decisions. He usually takes time to sleep on it, and he's very, procedural.
Right.
And less than 12 hours after that game basically ends, he has decided he's stepping away. Or whoever has decided, you're stepping away. Very quick decision. His implication there was, he knew he was going to go. He's going to coach his team, and as soon as it's done, he's out.
Yeah.
And where he goes next is something to watch. So we've got a juicy show on that, and then receiver. What? No bad ideas, guys. No bad ideas.
No bad ideas?
I have a tweet.
There's some Odell Beckham tweets out there.
I've got a tweet. Where's Reggie Germany these days?
There we go.
Let's get an old Bills receiver. Let's bring him back. Lamar on a cell phone is up first. Lamar, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Trust me, I do not want to be one of those guys that says, put Keon Coleman at safety. I don't want to do that. However, what do you guys think about putting our fourth-string tight end, Kaliki Lotu, I believe his name is, putting him at wide receiver, because you have to hope that he can block as well, if not better, as Shavers, who was our primarily, blocker at wide receiver. Just an idea. What do you think?
Yeah.
Listen, interesting.
This is a team.
I'm not would they throw him out there at 6'7", 244 to be Shavers on screens? I don't know. Would they try it at practice this week with him? I would actually.
We'll see how
could.
exotic they get. I tweeted out a clip. There is a highlight. The Bears in their game against the Packers had an offensive lineman run a route.
And saw that. 79.
I mean a route.
Yeah, it was like a vertical.
This was 17 yards down the field, and this guy was open.
He looked good doing it. He could run.
The thing you worry about, I think, if you do that, obviously, is that you are just telegraphing what you're doing, which is running. Which the Bills might, you might have to kind of live there, that you're just going to telegraph what you're doing an awful lot. Dress 4 tight ends, putting Dawson Knox out at wide receiver, and and Dalton Kincaid out at wide receiver. Like, that's not something this team is shy to do. I know. Yeah. I've been in the stands yelling, why are Dawson Knox and Latavius Murray the receivers in this formation? Yeah. So they're not afraid of that.
Yeah. Right, like you put Reggie Gilliam out there at receiver because we're going to run a screen. What is Denver thinking? Like, this is a screen. Probably. Or at least we don't have to worry about covering him. Not in the same way that you would if it was Shavers.
And that's when you strike. That's when you get him.
The fake fake screen to Shakir and a pop pass down the field to Gilliam.
The broken clock. We're calling that play the broken clock.
Yeah.
You fake the screen to Shakir. Here's Gilliam over the top.
I mean, if Kincaid were healthy, or how about a player that generally was healthy, you could think, well, he could just do all this. He could just play exclusively at wide receiver because they need him to, but like he is in no position for me to think like, oh, he's the guy you're going to throw out there to block for people.
And he's healthy-ish.
He's playing.
He's available. Playing. He's healthy-ish like he's always healthy-ish, which is like battling something. Kincaid's always kind of battling something. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. Zach in West Seneca is up next. Hey, Zach, good morning.
Hey, guys, good morning. Hey, after you laid it out, Jared, with the production, I was looking at that late last night. I mean, they just get these – they got a couple hundred yards out of all these guys. I mean, really what we're losing is the grit and the blocking, and I know it's hard to quantify that, but and it's a big deal, but we're trying to get through 8 quarters to get through a Super Bowl. I mean, this team wants to run the ball anyways, come out with some 12 personnel anyways. And, if you look at some of the film guys, they all think running – the ball with with multiple tight ends on the field is probably the way to go anyways. As far as like putting guys out there, tight ends out at wide out, I mean, they telegraph what they're doing anyways. I mean, does anybody not watch the game and sit there and think, all right, this is either a James Cook run or a screen to Shakir? I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like they're basically telling people what they're doing anyways. And then with Keon Coleman, I've been pretty down on him and was like cool with them, keeping him inactive towards the end of the season. But I mean, that catch was pretty good. Part of me wonders like, hey, could there be something in there? We're not talking forever. I'm not talking down the road, but is there something in there? Can he block?
Yeah.
Can he make a couple 3 plays? Like literally, I mean, it helps that last week that one for 36. It was probably the nicest catch out of Cook's bomb at the end there. So
yeah,
let's see if we get something out of him.
I think Zach, Coleman has made a nice play a game for the last month. That's how low the bar has been. Like, we got somebody calling and pointing out like, oh, look at this block. He puts this guy on skates all the way into the sideline. He's committed to the block here. And you're like, yeah, that's great. That's a nice play. If he's the undrafted free agent, if he's Shavers, we're saying like, oh, nice role player. But the fact that he's the second-round pick and he's supposed to have been the guy that kind of turned over your receiving core and helped you have stability and be explosive, like he's been a major disappointment. So throughout this process with Coleman, I mean, I had said multiple times, like they might need him again. If there are injuries, they're going to need him. And lo and behold, like here are the injuries.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to need him.
At this point, he's going to play.
He's going to play.
Like he's going to play, and he's probably going to play a lot. I mean, I don't know how trustworthy it is. Like, sure, he's made a player here and there, like, in these games he's played. He's also made mistakes. There have been drops in these games, too. There was one even against the Jets that almost fell right into their hands as the only interception they had on the season.
Yeah.
And there have been others. So I don't know, like, how reliable they think he is. They might not have a choice, though, right? Like, at this point, I think it's actually pretty clear they have not felt that he's very reliable in the last month or two.
Even to make meetings, never mind like on the field.
Right, but at this point, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you kind of have to play him.
Well, that one catch that he made against the Jags, and we'll get to a break here and back to your phone calls. Joe Marino made a point about this play to Coleman, which is a 36-yard gain. And he said, like, Coleman catches it, and then he gets by, and he kind of he gets pushed out of bounds by a linebacker. Like caught from behind by a linebacker. We know he's not that fast, but like what you're going to need from Coleman is, do you remember him last year? Last year, he played like a bully, right? He catches this ball and then puts a move on the safety and gets by him. He's in the open field and unable to pull away from this linebacker. You'd want him here going forward to stop, try and throw that guy down. Like, I need my number 1 yards over expected receiver that he was last year. He was very good after the catch. And this year we really haven't seen that. So, like, that's, to me, that's one glimmer of what can we get out of Coleman. Like, let's get him the ball and let him use his yards after the catch. He's big, he's strong, he throws guys off. He's got to find that dog in him, as they say again. But it's do or die time, 803-0550. All right, good calls to open up. Everybody's out. Yep, these Bills. Bills and Broncos coming your way Saturday at 4:30, and we'll talk about it. Meanwhile, the NFL coaching cycle is as fascinating as ever. 9 available jobs. 9.
Third of the league almost. Yeah.
Nuts.
Including the Pittsburgh job for the only second time that I can ever remember.
That's a fun one to guess who's going to get it.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh there's just no overstating how much it's a different life now.
Yeah.
They have a different life with Tomlin stepping away. And is he going to try to go to like Tennessee or just go somewhere else and be given complete control? There are 8 other openings. The Tomlin can go wherever he wants conversation will be tested. Maybe he wants to go to television. 803-0550. Jeremy and Joe, give us a ring on these Bills injuries and how you're feeling about it. Bills and Broncos on Saturday.